Evening in India is a quiet time, usually reserved for a strong cup of chai and a moment of reflection. Young Arjun has just learned about taxes at school, and he asks his grandfather, Murthy, a logical question. Aja, when the government collects all of our tax money, do they use it to build temples or mosques? To answer that, look at the national treasury. Millions of diverse citizens contribute their earnings into a single, massive pool. Managing these funds creates a logistical challenge. How can a government spend it without favoring one specific group? A clear rule against financial favoritism is the necessary foundation for maintaining trust in a nation of over 1 billion people. The framers of the Indian Constitution anticipated this dilemma and addressed it directly through Article 27. This rule establishes a precise boundary. The state cannot force any citizen to pay taxes that will be used to promote or maintain any single religion. Instead, the tax pool is routed exclusively toward shared, secular public services, funding roads, hospitals, and schools. A public road carries travelers of all faiths. A public hospital treats every patient. These services provide a shared utility that benefits every citizen without bias. This model of shared utility fails if public funds are diverted to support a single religion. Using tax money contributed by a diverse population to support one specific faith creates an immediate mathematical imbalance. It takes from everyone to serve a few, which breaks the social contract of a multi-faith society. Article 27 acts as a constitutional firewall, ensuring public money is reserved strictly for these universal, secular benefits. This raises a practical question for Arjun. If the government isn't funding them, how do the country's massive temples, mosques, and churches maintain themselves? They rely on the financial mechanism of private, voluntary donations. There is a sharp distinction in these money flows. State taxation is a compulsory obligation for citizens. Religious giving is a personal choice. Funded by private devotion, these institutions have the autonomy to manage their financial affairs and maintain their properties. The Constitution protects the right of every community to fund its own faith, so long as it relies on its own members rather than the state's power to tax. Looking at the courtyard around him, Arjun sees that Article 27 ensures his future tax payments treat every neighbor with equal respect. This tax rule provides the practical framework for Indian secularism. In this model, the state does not oppose religion. Instead, it commits to maintaining absolute neutrality toward all of them. By keeping the treasury neutral, the government cannot elevate the beliefs of one citizen over the beliefs of another. That financial neutrality is what protects individual freedom and ensures democratic equality for the next generation. For Murthy, passing down this civic understanding ensures his grandson knows exactly how the law protects his place in a diverse society. The Constitution preserves the faith of every citizen by refusing to choose a financial favorite among them.